Right now she's talking to the refs about holding.
They investigated it. They said those accusations were false. The least that she could do is apologize to our great state.
These seats and feel safe and not feel like there's a threat or they can't be who they are.
Clark, where is the Indiana Fever? Where is the WNBA saying that investigation should
a game with the Indiana Fever, dropping racial slurs against Caitlin Clark? I mean, pretty obvious.
Fever is where Caitlin Clark plays. Atlanta Dream is where Brittney Griner plays. Now you tell me what it looks like Brittney Griner is saying here.
We were talking about earlier today.
Indiana Governor Mike Braun didn't mince words when he called out the WNBA for what he described as blatant double standards. While the league rushed to investigate fake claims of racism against Indiana Fever fans, accusations that were later proven false, they've remained completely silent on a viral video of Brittney Griner allegedly making derogatory remarks about Caitlin Clark. Braun criticized the WNBA for using resources to pursue a false narrative while ignoring clear video, evidence of potentially serious misconduct. His remarks elevated the situation from a sports controversy to a political issue, highlighting how serious the perception of bias has become. Braun made it clear that fairness and integrity should apply to all players, not just the ones the league favors. His involvement sent a strong message that Indiana won't sit back while its fans and star players are unfairly attacked or disregarded by a league that claims to stand for equality. The silence from the WNBA on Griner's remarks? That's no longer acceptable. A viral video shows Brittney Griner after a Fever versus Sky game, appearing to call Caitlin Clark trash and use a slur. Defenders claim she was talking about a referee's call. But if that's true, why hasn't Griner explained it? Why has the WNBA stayed silent? That's the core issue. The lack of response suggests selective enforcement. When accusations fit a narrative, the league moves fast. But when evidence implicates a top player like Griner, the silence is deafening. If this were Clark or another less protected player, there's no doubt we'd already have statements, penalties, and apologies. The video's ambiguity demands clarification, yet the WNBA hasn't even acknowledged it. This fuels growing frustration from fans and politicians alike. It's not just about what was said, it's about what the league refuses to say. The contrast is glaring, and the message is clear. Some players get a free pass. That double standard is now under serious scrutiny. The hypocrisy couldn't be clearer. The WNBA swiftly investigated baseless claims that Indiana Fever fans hurled slurs at Angel Reese after the Sky lost badly. That probe found nothing. No evidence, no truth. And yet the league acted like it was urgent. Meanwhile, a real video of Brittney Griner possibly making derogatory remarks, no investigation, no comment, nothing. The league's priorities are exposed here. Fake outrage gets fast action if it fits the preferred narrative, while real controversies are ignored when they involve a protected player. That's why fans are outraged, and why political leaders are stepping in. This isn't just a misstep, it's a pattern. The league will burn energy on fiction, but refuse to address facts on tape. That kind of inconsistency shows a disturbing bias in how the WNBA chooses which cases to pursue. It's no longer a matter of oversight, it's a credibility crisis that's damaging trust in the league's leadership. Governor Braun didn't just criticize the WNBA, he demanded action. He called on the league, the Indiana Fever, and Angel Reese to apologize to fans for the false racism accusations. These weren't casual suggestions. Braun said the fans were demeaned and deserved better from the team they support. He was also disappointed in the Fever for not defending their own fan base. Families, kids, and everyday supporters were unfairly painted as racists with no evidence. And even after the claims were debunked, the league stayed silent. No retraction, no apology. That silence speaks volumes. Braun's message was clear: the fans matter. The double standard doesn't just hurt players, it damages the relationship between the league and its supporters. By demanding accountability, Braun stood up for fairness and showed that leadership means defending the people who make the league possible. His words were more than political, they were personal to Indiana's basketball culture. Governor Braun reminded everyone that Caitlin Clark isn't just a rising star. She's a cultural and economic powerhouse for Indiana. Her presence sells out arenas. She's brought back energy to women's basketball in ways the WNBA has never seen. The Gainbridge Fieldhouse hasn't seen this kind of excitement in years. And Clark is the reason. From ticket sales to merchandise to renewed interest, at the grassroots level, her impact is undeniable. And yet, despite all this, she faces more criticism than protection from the league she's revitalizing. Braun highlighted this contradiction and emphasized that Indiana won't let Clark or its fans be dragged through the mud without pushback. She's become a symbol of hope and pride for the state, and when she's attacked or dismissed, the backlash isn't just fan outrage, it's civic pride being bruised. Clark has done more for the league than most realize, and it's time the WNBA treated her like it. This situation gained serious traction once more than one political figure got involved. First, it was Governor Braun. Then, Senator Jim Banks stepped in, echoing his call for accountability and demanding an apology to Indiana Fever fans. These weren't offhand remarks. They were calculated, public statements from leaders who know the value Caitlin Clark brings to their state and what it means when that's disrespected. The fact that government officials are speaking out shows how deep this controversy runs. They're not acting on a whim, they're responding to the thousands of fans who feel unheard. When politicians get involved in sports matters, it signals the league has crossed a line from simple PR issues to public trust violations. And this isn't just about Indiana. When one state's leadership demands fairness, others might follow. The WNBA has now drawn the attention of people with real influence, and that changes everything. The league no longer controls the narrative. Public officials do. The heart of the controversy lies in what many see as a protected class system within the WNBA. Certain players, like Brittney Griner, are treated with kid gloves. Others, like Caitlin Clark, are criticized for every move. Clark gets dissected for her expressions, her play, and even how she reacts to fouls. Meanwhile, Griner can make inflammatory remarks on video and receive no scrutiny. This imbalance is what's driving fans and officials to speak out. The league can't preach equality while practicing favoritism. The video argues that this protection isn't earned, it's handed out based on a player's status or political value. If Clark had said anything remotely controversial, the consequences would have been swift. But Griner? Silence. That's not just unfair, it's a threat to the league's credibility. You can't have integrity when you only enforce rules on some players and look away for others. That favoritism is finally catching up to the WNBA, and people are taking notice. The WNBA has long positioned itself as a leader in social justice, but this scandal calls that image into question. They investigated false claims of racism in record time, but when actual video footage shows Griner possibly crossing a line, they say nothing. That selective concern undercuts the league's credibility. You can't preach fairness and only apply it when it benefits your image. True equality means all players are held to the same standards, regardless of popularity or politics. The video tears into this hypocrisy, pointing out that the league only seems to care about justice when it fits their agenda. This isn't just inconsistent, it's dishonest. Fans see the double standard, politicians see it, and now it's becoming impossible to defend. If the WNBA wants to lead on social issues, it has to start by applying its values evenly. Until then, its message rings hollow, and the league risks losing the trust of the very people it claims to represent. Governor Braun's call for action could open the floodgates. Once officials start digging into this issue, there's no telling what else might surface. The video warns that this is just the tip of the iceberg. What happens if the league is forced to review how it has treated different players over the years? What if evidence emerges of systematic bias? Cases where some athletes were punished for less than what others got away with? A full investigation could shake the league to its core, and that's exactly why the WNBA might be dragging its feet now. It's not just about Griner, it's about the precedent. If they acknowledge one misstep, they may have to confront many more. The risk isn't just reputational, it's structural. Years of unspoken favoritism could unravel, and the league may be forced to publicly answer for patterns it has kept quiet. That's the true danger here. Braun didn't just call for fairness, he might have sparked a reckoning. For years, Brittney Griner has enjoyed a level of protection most players don't. Her personal story, popularity, and legacy have shielded her from serious backlash. But that shield is starting to crack. This time, she can't deflect. There's video evidence, there's public outrage, and now there's political pressure. She can't fall back on her usual defense strategies. this isn't about her past. It's about something she said in the present. And for the first time, she may have to face real consequences. That shift is huge. It means the WNBA may no longer be able to protect its favorites without scrutiny. If Griner is investigated, or even formally addressed, it could mark the end of the league's old way of doing business. No more selective accountability. No more turning a blind eye. Governor Braun's involvement means the league has to respond. And when that happens, Griner might finally learn what it feels like to be held to the same standards as everyone else.